Okay, all right, guys. So this is the Charlotte Chess Center IM tournament. It was an IM Invitational. Last time I was here was 6 years ago at the same tournament when Hans Niemann was an FM. So Hans Niemann was an FM, and we drew it in. We drew it that time. And actually, round one in this tournament, who I played was the same guy that I played 6 years ago and beat him. He was actually the top dog in the section at that time, which is IM Martin Del Campo. That's his name, and that's who I played in the first round this time. But I beat him the last time, so I was hyped, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Okay, light work, right? Even though it ain't gonna be light work playing an IM. It's never gonna be light work, ever, playing an IM, right? But at the same time, I was like, I beat him last time, you know, hit him this time too. So I was like ready, right? But so a tough game, of course, but he was not the top dog this time. In fact, he was like number 3 or 4. He might have been, actually, I don't think he was 3. He might have been 4. He might have been the 4th seed, which lets you know the competition has gotten stronger in this section. Now it's 10 players in this section, and what we're going for is 6.5 points. 6.5 out of 9, you get 6.5, you get a norm. There was 3 IMs, and everybody else was either FM or National Master or something like that. 2200 plus, basically. But I didn't notice until the end. I did not notice until the end. Check this out. Everybody in the section, okay, and this is something that I told a few people already that already know this. Everyone in the section except 2 or 3 players. There was 10 of us. 2 or 3 of us, including myself, did not have norms. So basically, everybody in the section was either an IM or they had everything they need besides the rating to be an IM. So there was like 3 IMs in there, and then another 5 or 6 of them had 3 norms already, meaning they're already IM. They just need the rating. I was like, bro, I didn't know this. So I would have probably played a little bit differently in certain games if I already knew this. I didn't know this knowledge beforehand. So I'm just trying to go in here and trying to crush everybody, but not knowing that everybody in my section is an IM basically, besides 2 or 3 of us. It's like, it was very, very hard competition. Now, how it ended was nobody got a norm out the section. It was a lot of bloodshed, swinging, knock me out, I knock you out, hit this man in the jaw, he came back, grabbed the sink, hit him over the head, right? It was crazy. It was absolutely nuts because nobody got 6.5 in the section. So it was crazy. How many norms do you have? I don't have any norms yet. Absolutely not. None yet. But of course, that's why I'm going to these tournaments to get these norms and the rating up. But no norms yet. But everybody else, besides like me and I think one other guy, didn't have any norms. Everybody else had norms or was IM already. So I was like, wow, dude, like these boys is dumb strong. So it was absolutely insane, to be honest, to say the least. Wow, no one got straight. It was a straight up bloodbath, bro. Everybody in there was swinging. I was like, yo, I didn't notice till afterwards. I'm like, dang, I probably should have played this, or I probably should have, I was thinking like, dang, I probably should have played some different things or not played as risky in some games as I wanted to because I was going for something, not knowing that these boys already got norms. I'm like, oh my goodness, my bad. Shoot, my bad, bro. My bad. I didn't know, right? Like, shoot, they got norms already. I need to respect you a little bit more. How would you have changed your play style if you went beforehand? You wouldn't take as many risks. You wouldn't take as many risks, and you would double check, triple check, quadruple check. You would be a little bit better. Share your sponsor. You can share how to sponsor you when you can. Thank you. Oh, hey, right here, LVC. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, we got another tournament coming up in May. Okay, another one, same one, $800 for the entry fee. So any subs help, guys. Any subs, anything you can do. Like you don't have to, but of course, we really do appreciate that, as these tournaments are very expensive. So appreciate that for anyone that does help and sponsor. I really, really appreciate that love. When was this? This was March 17th through the 21st. Yes, that's correct. $800 entry fee. Yeah, big boy entry fee, and you got to pay for the flight and the hotel. Okay, it's a lot of cheese there, a lot of cheese, but at the same time, man, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. So this first round, though, I'm playing low. Yo, shout out to Bodas Bishop. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Let's go. Thanks so much for the gifted sub over to LVC19, 24 gifted subs to the channel, Bowden's Bishop. I appreciate you. Much expenses, it is a lot. Sente 7s, it is a lot. But, it's worth it, man. It's definitely worth it, and it's something that, I'm pursuing. GM is on the way, baby. So, this first round, I played Martin Del Campo, and I beat him before. almost in the same line. I'm like, oh, we going down the same line. And I did a lot of prep too. You ahead of time, you already knew who you was going to play. So that's one thing you want to know. We already knew who we were going to play at what round, which gives you chances to prep. But here's the thing about prep. If you can prep, that's cool. But here's another thing. They can play something different, right? So imagine you do hours of prep and they do something completely different. Because number one, I mean, they know, like, you could, that's a strategy. Like, that somebody's going to prep for you. So you play something completely different just for that game. So that might be one of the things that I'm going to use in my next, when I go next time. Because, man, like, I mean, I barely got anything that I prepped, which was kind of crazy. I was like, bro, all of this prep and I barely got anything that I prepped for. Hey man, do you think it's necessary 1500 1600 to study positional games like those of Capablanca? I mean, yeah, absolutely, but right now tactics is going to be the main thing. 99% of your games is going to be won or lost off tactics until you about 2000, maybe even higher. But it's positional is going to be good, but I mean, tactics is where it's at. You can have a great positional game and then they smash you through a tactic that you missed because your tactics ain't sharp. So, yeah, this is the first round, guys. This is the first round. Playing Martindale Campo. I'm like rubbing my hands together, salivating, ready to crush this man. And here we go, right? So I play E4 for life. Shout out to my new GM coach too, by the way, who recommended and said, yeah, you can still play E4, right? I meet with him actually tomorrow. So, but E4, I was asking him, yo, bro, I'm trying to get to the top level, GM, big boy stuff, can I continue to play E4? He like, absolutely. You just got to study dumb hard. And I'm like, I'm already doing that. Perfect. So we're going to keep it. You might see your sub spike if you analyze these games from a hot tub. Ha! Funny. Yeah. Newton, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. No problem, Banana. No problem. So I play E4, right? I play E4, they go C5 and we live. Same old. And then after C5, I hit him with C3. So, okay, C3 Cecile for the kill, baby. You already know I love this. Now, here's a huge announcement. It's 200 people right here. 200 people watching right now. Here it is, guys. I hope y'all better. I hope y'all ready for this. I hope y'all ready. The C3 Sicilian is going to be retired when it comes to getting my norms. The C3 Sicilian is going to be retired when it comes to getting my norms. I can't believe I'm saying that right now, but it is necessary. It is necessary. After I had some talks with people and some other work, I'm also going to, meet with my GM coach tomorrow. So this may be, the only time you're going to see it now is usually on Blitz and stuff like that. Or maybe to throw somebody off another day. But here's the course too. The course is in the chat right there. If you want to go grab the course, you can get it right now. The C3 Cecile for the kill. I can't believe it. I know, right? But as a player, this is one thing you got to know. One thing as a player, you have to grow. And when you grow as a player, you do have to play different openings. Magnus actually says that to be a better player, a great player, you do have to play different openings. So one of these things I am going to be doing, guys, is time. It's time for me to switch, man. It's time for me to switch. So, I'm going to be talking with my GM coach tomorrow to figure out, what we really going to work on and how and stuff like that. But I can't believe it either in a way. Mickey Dead Guy says, snap, I can't believe it. And then Mr. Ohio says, what? So let's see the new lines. Oh, no, you ain't watching it. You ain't going to see them yet. Come on. I'm actually glad to hear it, low-key. I feel you can't be too attached. No, you can. You have to be attached to something, and then you have to detach and grow to be better. Get out of your comfort zone. No, grow and flow. That's right. But the Alapin did not work for you. No, the Alapin worked for me very, very strongly, actually. Alapin worked, maybe not in this tournament because I chose to make other choices where I could have had the Alapin work for me. But the Alapin has been actually probably one of my greatest openings over the board. One of my first Grandmaster draws was with the Alapin over the board, actually. I drew John Fedorovich out of New York, if you Google him. But I drew him, and I almost made him. But one of my greatest games. Even, actually, this Alapin here, the same guy that we're looking at right now, I beat him 6 years ago in about 23 moves with this opening, with the Alapin. It was a nasty, nasty attack. So Alapin is definitely great. How about semi-retirement? Yeah. All right. Grand Prix attack. Grand Prix is something pretty nice. Secret prep. Who's your coach? Tanguy Rangwar. Very strong. He played in the GM section. So the coach persuaded you. On the black side, definitely. We haven't really talked more about C3 Sicilian yet, but I am going to bring it up to him. So we may see. I may keep playing it C3, but I have to make some slight tweaks and changes, which I'm not really trying to do because I played the Alapin in a different way anyway. Thanks for that follow. Appreciate it. Appreciate the follow, Wrestling. As a sitting player, I have to gotta say that Alapin is annoying to play against. No, you're right. You're right. You know, it is, but man, it's like, geez, bro. Like I have to make a switch here, and I got a few things I'm looking at. I haven't made a choice yet, and that's why, you know, tomorrow I'll be talking with my coach, and we're gonna figure this out. Like, you know, I want to do this, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's also based off play style as well. A lot of things, right? How the tourney go? We talking about it right now. So I'm talking about it right now. Yeah. You know, so we'll see. We'll see, though. We will see. So, all right, I'm playing Martindale Campo, right? Now, 6 years ago, he played this same line. He played G6, same. So I'm like, so far, so good. I even prepped some new stuff because I looked at our old game. You know, I had time to prep. So I looked at our old game. I looked at everything, and I prepped this super, very, very hard line. A lot of stuff. Like, I did a lot of prep. What was the toughest game you had? Toughest game I had was 177 move loss, which we'll talk about in a different round. But 177 moves. Wait, was it 117? I'm tripping. 117. It was over 100 moves, so it wasn't 177. That's too much. I think it was 117, something like that. What's up, bro? Welcome back. What's up, Chess Pawn? Welcome to the stream, bro. 117, yeah, it was 117 moves. So, all right, G6, right? G6, D4. Okay, so we in C3 Cecile for the kill. He takes it. I take it. He played D5. I'm like, this is, hey, so far, so good. So far, so good. What was it? I mean, in this tournament? No, that's exactly, 117 was from this tournament. That's what we're saying. That's a lot of moves. Yeah, bro. It was looking bad for move 20 onwards, though. Yeah, it was a tough game because, you know, it was a weird one. It was definitely weird. And we'll talk about that when we get to that round. But knight C3, right? I played knight C3. And in 6 years ago, this same game with Martindale Campo, he took this pawn. So I'm waiting for him to take the pawn. And then he played bishop G7. I'm like, man. So round one, all that prep you did goes out the window in a way. Because bishop G7 is, yeah, it's a move, but it's not the move that he made. It's not the most common. It's literally, it's a move, but like, bro, all that prep like out the window here. And this is why it's good to study different openings. Because a lot of openings and cousin openings, for instance, French and caro-kann, those go hand in hand. And French and caro-kann, also caro-kann and Scandinavian. These openings, they go hand in hand. Pawn structures are quite similar, things like that. With that being said, this opening, the C3 Sicilian, actually goes with the, what is it? This is why I don't want to give up the C3 Sicilian. Because there's some lines in it. C3 is very strong. It just, I'm really going to have to talk deep with my coach tomorrow. But what is it? What's the opening I'm talking about, guys? C3 Sicilian goes with the Panov Botvinnik. That's what it is. Panov Botvinnik, right? So they go hand in hand. Panov Botvinnik, C3 Sicilian, they are very similar. And you can get to some openings and some situations where that's exactly going to happen. So I realized it. I realized it right here. And I'm like, okay, well, first off, kudos to my opponent for not playing into the prep and taking E takes D5 and going right back into what we went into 6 years ago where he got crushed. So, you know, this international master I'm playing, very strong. He plays bishop G7. So I'm like, okay, well, I have a decision here. I can take the pawn with the knight. I can play E5, which is a move as well. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that, Fringe. Is C3 Sicilian same as Alapin? Yes, that is correct. For some reason, I love the caro-kann. I hate both the French and Scandi. Yeah, caro-kann is a more solid Scandi. Scandi is more aggressive than caro-kann, but you also have a lot of risk involved with the Scandi. But after E5 is a move, I have pawn takes, I have knight takes. I have all these moves. I even have knight F3. But then I'm like, well, I'm not as prepped in the other lines as I am. And then I was like, wait a second. By transposition, meaning that this position is the same in another opening than it is in this one, I can reach a Panov Botvinnik G6 variation, which is one of the boring ones and one of the ones that I don't study as much. And I know he don't play the caro-kann. And I was like, well, shoot, I don't even, you know, the G6 variation is a very strong one. In fact, Levy actually was using it when we played our match, actually. When I still had some very good games, some games I won. And, you know, playing against Levy in I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. But I took on D5. So I remember E takes D5. And this is all book, by the way. Knight F6. And usually, this is how the move order usually goes. If you're looking at caro-kann, E4, C6, D4, D5, take, C4, Knight F6, Knight C3. They usually go G6 first. And then you will capture, then Bishop G7, and then Queen B3. This is how it usually happens, right? But by transposition, if we look at the game, this is how the game went. This is how the game went. So we reached this position, just a different move order. So now I'm like, okay, cool. And then actually here, I felt I was slightly better already, just because of the fact that he does not play the caro-kann. Now, that doesn't mean that he doesn't know the line or he doesn't know the ideas and the plans. He is an international master. He's seen a lot of positions. So he should be able to probably figure this out quite easily. But I did notice that, oh, this is a caro-kann now. So let's see what he knows in this caro. So after queen b3, he castles. I play bishop b2. This is still booked, by the way. And either the moves are knight a6 or knight d7. If knight d7, then that blocks the h3 square, where I can play knight h3 and knight f4, and the goal is defending this pawn and keeping both of these pawns here in the center, even though they're double. Yo, thanks for the gifted sub, Bowden's Bishop. Appreciate it over to Mickey Dead, guys. Let's go. So I can play knight h3, knight f4 if knight d7 happens. If knight h6, then we go bishop f3, and then knight e2, knight f4. This is usual plans and ideas. This is how it happens. Now after bishop e2, knight b to d7. So I'm like, okay, cool, still booked. Knight h3, knight b6, and knight f4. So we're still in book here. I'm up a pawn, but very temporarily, because these are going to be weak. And eventually, this may be I may lose one of them. And here, I'm going to tell you one thing about prep. I did not prep this. So meaning, yes, I've looked at it, but I have not prepped this in a while. I haven't actually looked at this line in quite some time, because nobody was playing like caro-kann. This line in particular, I don't get as much. With that being said, it's very difficult. So here I knew all of this, but I knew after a few more moves, I'm gonna be out of book. I'm gonna be like, I don't remember what to do, and you got to figure it out over the board. And even I don't even remember the ideas after a certain point. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. Could it be argued that we shouldn't defend d5 here? No, you should defend d5, because if you just voluntarily give up d5, well, you have to know that pawn structures are the GPS. My last GM coach told me that, and that's 100% correct. I even teach that to y'all, my students. Here's the lessons right there in the chat if you want some lessons. But it's actually pawn structure is the GPS. So if I let him take this d5 pawn and just chill, what's going to happen is I'm going to have an isolated pawn, which is easy, a pawn structure that's very easy to navigate, put a piece in front of it, trade pieces, and eventually go into an endgame as black here and end up winning the d4 pawn. And GG, have a nice day, basically. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple because of the pawn structure. So my goal is to keep this as long as possible. And if I do give this pawn up, I have to do it by the means of playing d6, which is a strange looking move. But when I do play d6 and he takes with his pawn, now I don't have an isolated pawn by itself. It's two isolated pawns. He has one, I got one, which makes it very, very, very equal. Play the Roy Lopez? No, I'm not with it. I used to play the Roy when I was growing up, but no more Roy for me. Roy's fun, but like, you know, let me take that back. Roy is not fun. The Roy Lopez is actually nicknamed the Spanish torture. You can Google it. It's called the Spanish torture, or the Spanish, but the Spanish torture because it takes 50 moves, 40 moves sometimes to do something, right? So it takes forever. Fun, yeah. It's not a fun opening, but it is a classical one that you should learn. Queen's Gambit Decline, same way. Classical opening, irrefutable. Very strong, played at the world championship level, but extremely boring chess. Extremely boring, right? So, you can play it though. Roy is complex, absolutely. And of course, reason why they play it at the top level, this is doing my own research and figuring this out. Later on in life, they said the Roy Lopez is, the reason why people play it at the top level is because it guarantees white a slight advantage. That's why they play it at the top level. But not an advantage, not a big one, but it guarantees them a slight advantage, which could be just enough for them to win the game. But, even Wesley So and Jan Gustafsson actually played a Marshall Gambit, which with great success. So, you don't have to always play the boring Roy Lopez. I don't want to be a London player if I'm not Roy. What else? Well, London is D4. I'm sure you probably already know that. And Roy Lopez, you have many, it depends on what level you at too, but you have Scotch Gambit, you got the Vienna game, you got all these other openings, English, this and that, right? They can whip out 20 book moves real quick, correct, right? So knight f4 happened on the board. After knight f4, he has a multitude of moves, like bishop g4 is one, I think queen c7, queen d6, h6, h5, a5, these are all real moves here. And bishop d7, I think, too. But he played queen d6, which is a very standard move here. Remember, this guy is an IM, International Master, very strong. Queen d6 and rook to d8 is the plan here. Now, here, and actually, let me turn the engine on here because I knew probably castles is correct, and I was like, well, you know, I need to like probably castle first. So let me see if there's anything else I could have played. Yeah, a4. I figured a4 was a move, but then he had rook d8 anyway. Oh, but then I had bishop f3. But this was strange. This was strange. I was like, okay, maybe I just need the castle first. I just need the castle. And that's what I did. And castles is one of the moves from the engine here. Literally, it's no different. It's like, now it's changing. Yeah, it's like castles. No a4, no castles. They're going back and forth. So literally castles was just fine. So I castled, I got out of the way. Rook d1 is usually what's going to happen later. You're also going to play h3 to stop bishop g4 and bishop e3 to maybe play rook c1 and rook d1. Centralize the rooks, end up giving his pawn back, but playing knight b5 in a lot of cases. Now, I knew when the queen was on d6, I just couldn't remember what to do. I couldn't remember what to do. And this is why, you know, studying is very hard and lengthy. And they say, you know, even when you become a GM, or you know, you are equivalent. It's equivalent to having 2 doctorate degrees. So that's a lot of study, right? And I remembered here, and I'm like, dang, I forgot. You know, I know knight b5 is a move. I just don't remember the follow-up. And if you don't remember the follow-up, you can get in a lot of trouble just from only remembering one of the moves. So what's the time controls here? This was 90 minutes with 30-second increment per side. Very long. Very, very long. It's like a rapper on stage trying to remember his lyrics. I mean, kinda. That's kind of the same. But here, it's very hard, right? So I castled. He played rook d8. I knew this was happening. And I'm like, okay, well, d5 is definitely going to hang if I don't defend it. I have bishop c4 as an option, which felt kind of strange to me. And bishop f3. Let's see what the engine likes. They say, let's check out the few moves here. Yeah, first move is the move I should have played. First move is the move I should have played. And what do you think the move is here, guys? 2 doctorates, PhDs, correct. 2 PhDs, yeah. 2 PhDs, 2 doctorate degrees. Charlotte is waiting for you in May. Oh, yeah, we already know, baby. Charlotte Chess Center to chat just like that, okay? Let's go, Charlotte Chess Center chat. Yeah, we going back in May. We going back in May. We getting his entry fee right now from all the supporters. Thanks so much, guys, for the support. Absolutely, you can support right here. Absolutely, come on, we gonna get that entry pay for it right now, right now. But all right, bishop d3, bishop f3. We have knight b5, knight b5. Correct. Yes. Yep, knight b5, definitely strongest move here. Knight b5. Right. That's correct, chat. Knight b5 was the right move. This was the move I should have played. Knight b5. But honestly, I remembered, this is all I remembered. I remembered knight b5 and d6. And this is what you're supposed to play. Then after pawn takes, I don't remember anything. And I was like, I don't remember any of this. And if I don't, I'm going to be sitting here kind of looking crazy in a way, just trying to figure this out, which I probably could have. But I'm like, I don't remember what to do here. And I know that my book does, though. Thanks for the follow, Morehouse 1734. It's I know that my book, when I read it, I remember, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep, go ahead, yep, all right, yep, that's what's up. Like I knew. My book said that, but I couldn't remember it. And I'm like, shoot, I don't remember this. So why would you go for something that you usually don't remember that much? Because you might play it wrong. And I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to play this very wrong. You know, knight d3, bishop f4, that could be a possibility. I do remember a4, a5. And to be honest, I should have went for this because I remembered enough for me to get through this. I did. Levy 22488, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so you know, I should have went for this because I do remember a4, a5 being an option. Let me see, the engine right here says best move right now is a4. That is correct. A4, bishop f5, and how the line's supposed to go is like this: a4, and then it says bishop f5, and then I can play a5, right? A5, but then he goes knight c8. Like this is playable. This is very playable here. I just didn't remember none of this. Like I don't remember none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't remember. So I was like, well, you know, if I don't remember, well, where do I go? So here's the live position, right? I played bishop f3 first. After thinking a little bit, I played bishop f3. So, excuse me. Yeah, I played bishop f3. Just trying to defend d5, bro. I'm just trying to defend it. Have you played Magnus? Never played him. Never played him. It would be nice to play the world champ, though. Of course, you know, learn something. Show us some C3 Sicilian, brother. Yeah, was a C3 Sicilian. Guess bishop 3. Yeah, it was a safer move, right? It was a safer move. Bishop f3 defending, and I knew that right here, bro. LVC. After bishop f3, you have bishop g4. Bishop g4 is a common move, And the move orders in the Kann Panov Botvinnik in this line in particular is very strange. Sometimes the move order is like, you know, rook e1, rook d1, then they go bishop g4. Like it's very small nuances that are vital actually here. And actually after bishop f3, I forgot. I was like, I know he could go bishop g4. Should I go h3, knight b5? But I don't remember the line. And I'm like, you know what? Just play bishop f3. Just whatever. Let's just do it. And I played bishop f3. I was expecting bishop g4. And he did that. Why? Because the theme here, guys, especially if you don't know and understand, bishop g4, the theme here is removing the defender. What is defending this pawn? The bishop is. How do we remove it? Remove it by just taking this bishop off f3 by playing bishop g4. Not only developing and connecting my rooks, but also getting rid of the bishop here that is defending the pawn. So after I take it, which is a mandatory move, after captures, then he could just go back to f6 and then attack the pawn again, right? He can just attack the pawn. So now in this position, guys, what would you do here? White to move. What are we doing? Let's get some options in the chat. White to move. Full Smooth says, I can't see variation must be played. Coming in with two kind of low, yeah. All right, what are we doing? White to move. He says, hit the d4 pawn. Is white to move, though? So what are you talking about? Bishop e3? We got knight b5 once again, a4 anyway. Knight e4 from Guepe. Oh, yeah, you said black. Yeah, it's white to move here. Yo, I drug hey addicts. Hey, whoa, hey, whoa. Thanks so much for the prime because it's time. Rook g5 round 5. Ooh, boy, I can't wait to get to that game. Yo, you gotta be here. You gotta be here for that round. I'm telling you right now. You gotta be here when we analyze that one. That's gonna be hype. It's gonna be music playing. We're gonna be throwing stuff in the air because that was my favorite round right there. Rook g5 round 5, absolutely. But we're gonna go cover down later. Knight b5. You analyzing all games today? Not today. No, we're gonna analyze every stream. So one game per stream, so we can space it out, have some YouTube content, and hang out with you guys, and really go into depth on these games. Knight b5, knight b5, knight b5 or h3. Yeah, knight b5 or h3. Okay, here it is. Here it is. This is the move I made. So knight b5 I should have went for once again. I did have the option. But actually here, and this is why knight b5 going back was better. Because knight b5, even though I could have went knight b5, queen d7, right? This was one thing I was worried about. Because I'm like, I don't remember what happens on queen d7. I don't even think they even covered that in the book. I have to go back and check. But queen d7, I'm like, what happens on queen d7? And I'm kind of looking weird here. Like the queen's on d7. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what happens. Then actually, bishop g4, bishop takes, knight takes g4. If I go knight b5 now, he's going to play queen d7, I think. And then I was like, well, shoot, I really don't like it now. Like, his rooks are connected. This knight's looking kind of crazy, but I can take on a7. And this is, like, strange. This is very, very strange. Very strange, bro. I was like, yo, this is, I don't know. Like, I could go for this, but at the same time, I don't want to mess this up. And, you know, raise your hand if you've been in a position, especially against a strong player. He's an international master. We're like, you know, one mistake, one inaccuracy can cost you the entire game. So instead of like going for that, I'm like, I don't really know yet. We're going to try to figure this out. So I chose another move, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. Gory got 6 IM norm at the tournament. Gory was the only one that scored a norm in both sections, actually. Like, he was in the top section. He was playing in the GM section, and he got another norm. He got 6 IM norms. All you need is 3. He's just waiting for his rating now. What's up, Omid? Omid in the chat. Big fella. Let's go. What's up, my guy? We in here. Big O in the chat. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that PhD stuff. Yeah, Gory's OP. Yeah, he dumb strong. I can't raise my hand, so I'll raise my... Okay, all right, Squirardo. Right, so instead of knight to b5 here, the move that I chose is... somebody said it, I think it was Guepe. I played knight e4. And knight e4, I knew that this wasn't in the book. I was like, well, I know knight e4 I've never even seen, but it is strange. And I was like, I'm just going to play it to see what he does, because knight e4... is a move. And I'm like, okay, I got knight c5 as an option. Even, you know, as this x-ray is kind of pointing here, knight g5 and d6, in some cases, I might be able to work something up. I don't know what, but we're going to try something. And also look at the aesthetic part of it, or aesthetics of it. Look how good these knights look together, right? So it looks really good, but I know knight b5 is just the correct move. I just didn't know the rest. but I was like, well, let's go 94 and see what happens. I'm still up a pawn temporarily. Bowden's Bishop says, we in here. That's right. Gory been grinding. Yeah, Gory is a monster. He's been grinding, bro. He's been grinding. I had a game on Monday, which I should. Oh, sorry. I had a game on Monday, which I should have won. Lost just one tempo on move 42 and lost the game. That's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes is literally one inaccuracy and the game's over. That's a wrap. Just like that. So after 94, he played Queen D7, right? And then after Queen D7, now what you going to play here, guys? There's a lot of moves here. A lot of moves in this position. I kind of calculated everything. And I came to a conclusion that I have nothing. I literally have nothing. But it looks good. Chess is like this all the time. Chess is like this all the time. You may feel like you got something, and it looks great. And I'm actually going to show you guys a few lines here. I had one that I was like, oh, I could do this, and then bam, bam, and then come around this way. But I think it didn't work. And let me try to see what that was again. If I went there, he was going to go there. And then why was I hype about this again? H3, G4. Yeah, I remember. Okay. So what are you guys going to do? White to move. What are you going to do here? I think bishop on C1 is the way with nowhere good to go. Yeah, you know, bishop E3. I mean, it could be a thing. Hey. Let's go. Hey. Yo, Gunny Slayer with the tier 1 6 months in advance. Oh, my goodness. Thanks so much for the 6 months in advance, bro. Gunny Slayer, appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot for that. Queen D7. Right. Bowden's Bishop, thanks for the gifted and lifted. Let's get it. H3. We got H3. We got F3. H3 and F3. Thanks, Bowden's Bishop, for the gifted and lifted. I would probably play H3. H3 here. We got H3 and we got F3s, right? Okay, so H3, F3. Anything else? Anything else? D6 is a move. D6 from Kogan. Kick the knight away to make space for the king. H3, right? So here's one thing. Here's one line I calculated. I was going to go knight C5, right? Hit the queen. And I was like, you know, every time you calculate, you want to ask yourself, what's the most active move? So Queen C8 is not active. Well, I'm not afraid of that. Queen E8, Garbo. Straight Garbo and a half. Queen C7, same thing. Maybe it's not Garbo, but it's just strange. Queen F5, though, is very active. Very active. So if Queen F5 were to happen, then I'm like, okay, kick the knight now. And he has knight H6 or knight F6. And then I was going to play G4, right? The queen is literally almost trapped. And if Queen G5 and we live, well, he jumped off the deep end, started a new one, get this man off the board, send a stretcher to his address. We got it on file. It's a wrap. Game over. That's what I thought, right? But he actually has this move here, Queen C8, and he's great. And he's just chilling. And I did all of this, and this pawn's still hanging, and his knight out here looking crazy. And actually, I am not doing that well anymore. It seems like it. But I think I've made too many weaknesses. This pawn's hanging. I got weak pawns around the king now. Like, what happened? And I can't defend this. He's going to take this no matter what. He's going to take this pawn. No way to defend it. So I was like, dang, this don't even work, bro. And I wanted to. How many moves ahead were you looking? Usually, you know, at one game, what game was that? Might have been like round 7 or 6. Round 6 or 7, I was looking, bro, I was looking so far ahead. Sometimes I remember some of them was like 10, 11, 12, 13 moves ahead. But you got, that's why we got 90 minutes, 30-second increment, because you want to be looking, and then you got to check everything, the little small things you might have missed, the in-between moves, all kind of stuff, right? So, but a lot of moves, bro. And I saw this line, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I did not like this move at all. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Lazy Benji. Let's go. Settle down, boys. Yeah, we in here. We in here. Yeah, so, you know, but it was pretty weird. It was pretty weird. So I was like, okay, well, H3, Queen F5, you know. And then if H3 immediately, right, let's go back. If I go H3, he just goes back to F6. You know, look, cool, man. Wish I could have good style. You do, man. You actually do. You actually do. Appreciate it. All right, so knight F6. You're attacking D5. And then I could go back to C3. I could go back to C3. But what was wrong with this? Oh, I think maybe G5. Yeah, G5 now. Which is one of the moves, by the way. And if this bishop is gone, then I can't play knight H5, which is definitely a move. Which is definitely a move. You know, knight H5 would be a move, but it's just, it's not. I'm not able to play it. I'm not able to play it. You know, so it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird here. Let me actually, hold on, bro. Let's fix this chat issue real quick. let me show the mod icons, and then we're gonna just get rid of this dude. Okay. All right, there we go. So that's done and over with. So now, okay, all right. After knight f6, let's go back. I played knight e4. Is that with white? Yeah, this is with white. This is with white. So queen d7. After queen d7, I could have played knight c5 and went for it, but I didn't go for knight c5, guys. And then you also have knight g5. Thanks for the follow. Wolf Rocks. Thanks for the follow. h3. Wolf Rocks. You like Wolverine? Wolf Rocks. Nice. Yeah, I could have played that. I don't know. But I didn't. Here's the move, guys. Here's the move. Are you ready? This is what I played. This was tough. This was a very tough position. And I was like, I should have played knight b5, but I didn't remember what to do. So here's what happens. I played d6, and then I offered a draw. I was like, you know what, bro? Look, d6. And I offered a draw. And because the reason being is after pawn takes, this is a dead position. This is very dead. It's very dead. And I got knights in the center. I'm slightly better. When you offer a draw, the art of offering a draw, you usually want to be slightly better. Slightly better. And that's what white is. White is just a tad bit better, but maybe honestly super equal. And actually, if you turn the engine on right now, it's zeros right now. Yeah, it's zeros. It's literally zeros right now. And the reason being is because, like, this bishop, I am not fully developed yet. If you think about this, I am not fully developed. This bishop is not developed yet. And his rook can come to the file, so that's why it's equal. But my pieces are active, maybe a little bit better than how his pieces look, but virtually not enough for either side to say anything. And the reason why I played d6 here, right? The reason why I played d6 is because he's going to get this pawn. Would you rather him take this pawn, right? Would you rather him take this pawn, get rid of it, and you have an isolated pawn? Or would you rather him, have a drawn position like this where it's just two pawns here where I probably could push for a little bit more. But I'm like, it's round one. I am playing Martin Del Campo. He's one of the stronger, on the stronger side. You have to put all the factors here. He's one of the stronger players, number one. He's an IM already. I played him before. I did win over the board, but this one was a tighter game. He came a little bit more prepared. He is an IM. It's the first round. And this is not the position we was looking for. And he didn't even play into our prep. A lot of factors here where you can just like, you know what? Maybe we'll just go for a draw here and be okay and kind of cross him off the list in a way. Basically like, okay, cool. We'll just keep moving from here. Is this round one? This is still round one. Rather him capture without. Correct. Because this is not improving his position. Like, here actually what would improve his position is if he's able to take this pawn. If he's able to take this pawn, this is going to be so good for him. Bishop e3. I can't even defend it. I'm actually going down a pawn now. Look at that. I mean, look at that. That's crazy. Now I'm down a pawn, right? Now I'm down a pawn. Rook d1, rook d8. And now he's the one playing for a win. So you got to be very careful here. Extremely careful in these kind of situations, or you're going to lose this game. And d6 is a common theme of if we're going to give this pawn back, we're going to do it how we want to. We're going to do it how we want to. And that's the key in here is we're going to do it how we want to. So when pawn takes, now we don't have to worry about this. Maybe I could go bishop e3. This pawn is hanging now. I think I would have chose d5. But at the same time, I still need to develop this bishop. I really like d5 because it stops him. But also, the closer I get, does make this pawn weaker. Let me see what the engine does. Because bishop e3, I really didn't want to play that. But let's see what the engine likes. Engine likes h3, queen d4. Wow, none of the moves I considered at all. h3, or maybe h3 is a consideration, absolutely. h3, a4 is one, and queen d3. Like, these are not moves you considering for real. You know what I'm saying? This is not what you're really considering, bro. But, and maybe h3, though. h3 for sure, because this knight is annoying. So, let's see knight f6. This is the knight f6, takes, and then bishop e3. Okay, so this is cool, but then this is like draw. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the follow, Party Smarts. Color paint with also come by watercolors paintings and my garage sale. You go, Party Smarts. Okay, yeah, but here in this position, guys, it's just dead drawn. I mean, especially even if he goes d5 here. Look at this. What are we hoping for? What are you hoping for as white here? Like, what you gonna get out of this, right? maybe the c5 square, but I can be kicked from it with b6. He has a c4 square, but he can be kicked from it from b3. It's definitely just a super equal position here. Very, very super equal. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. I could have played on here. Maybe if he was lower rated and like, not an IM, I probably would have played on a lot longer. But here I was like, first off, we didn't go into the prep that I prepped for. Completely just played something different. Number two, I don't remember the line. And then number three, I'm like, you know what? Slightly better position. Well, let's see if we can grab a draw here and then go prep for the next round and get more time to prep. So, what I'm saying, El Pavador. Let's go, El Pavador. Thanks for the tier 1. Appreciate it. Let's go. Much better don't trade Bishop 3.25 for 3. Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? It does depend on the position. But yeah, after d6, I offered a draw, and then he sat here, and he didn't think long at all. He was like, yeah, all right. And then we got up out of there. He took the draw. Yeah, he took the draw right here. He was like, yeah, it's whatever. Right, he took the draw right here. I played d6, offered a draw. He said, all right, cool, let's take it. We got up. I went back to the room, prep for the next round. It was very simple. Because prep is very, very important in these big boy tournaments like this. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared, or you need to be prepared to play something else because somebody's preparing for you. So, that it's definitely like that. And I think that happened in the last round where I actually surprised everyone. Actually, it was like all over CNN in a way because I played C4 move 1. And actually, after the game, the man I asked him, I'm like, yo, bro, did you prep for me? He was like, yeah, I know you like the Scotch game. And I'm like, see, that's crazy. And now, actually, I'm not playing Scotch Gambit OTB no more. I'm actually playing something different. But crazy how he was prepping for the Scotch Gambino. That's what he was expecting from me in round 9. So how do you show that you want to draw? Do you just say, or there's a gesture you do? Well, when you're over the board, you just you have to, not have to say, but you say, you can say, I offer a draw. You make your move. You make your move and say, I offer a draw. Or you can just say, draw. Draw. But I just always say, I offer a draw. And you can decline the draw by not saying anything and just moving. Or you can just say, hey, let's play on a little bit longer. That's how you respectively decline draws if you don't want to. So his prep went right out the window. Absolutely. Prep went right out the window. But at the same time, I was prepped still. This is why you have to work on all areas of your game. I knew this line, but I didn't remember the little nuances like knight b5, a4. And there's like, bro, when we get here, right here, where is it at? Right here, there is like, from what I remember, there's probably another 10 moves of theory right here that I don't remember. I know bishop d2 is involved, rook c1. It's like, I don't remember, bro. But there's like 10 extra moves here that are, and I just don't remember what they are. It's kind of strange, but it's tough stuff, man. Definitely tough stuff. Do all masters need to switch opening prep every tournament not to be predictable? No. You need to be deeper in your prep, though. You don't have to switch, but you need to be deeper in your prep. When I see videos, it seems so subtle. Can you see the draw? See the draw? Yeah. Round 9 was a 5-1 draw. Yeah. Playing a Canty variation. Ha! You know, right? Hey. Hey, that is something. Good night, Canty. All right, J-Dub. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. That is something, though. That's pretty funny. That would be pretty funny to come out here and play F3 move 1. Be watching these on YouTube. Yeah, this is definitely going on the tube. So make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel right there. But F3, this is the Canty variation. Playing F3. King F2. Nobody prepping for that one. Ain't nobody going to be prepped for that one. But you also might get your head kicked in a few times, big fella. It's like how many pages of prep? Is it like written code? Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like years and years of study. It's so hard. It's so hard. And you have to remember it and go over it constantly. I went over your game with Montrose. You clapped that dude. Oh, man, I can't wait to go over that game. But, guys, this is round 1. So, if you missed it, you can catch it here on the YouTube. So, this was round 1 against Robert Martindale Campo that ended, International Master Martindale Campo that ended in a draw.